Do your ankles swell so much that you can barely bend your foot at the end of the day? I'm not talking about that little temporary puffiness anyone gets after a transatlantic flight or sitting on a bus for 10 hours. I'm talking about something much more serious, something that weighs you down. I mean, legs that feel like granite blocks, skin so tight and shiny it looks ready to burst, and those deep, persistent indentations your socks leave behind, which in my clinical practice we call pitting edema. Is this the reality you face every evening, almost like a ritual of pain? Listen to me very carefully, because that severe fluid accumulation is not simply an aesthetic nuisance or an inconvenience of age. It's a bright, flashing red warning sign that your vascular system is losing the battle. When fluid stubbornly pools in your lower legs, gravity is winning, slowing your blood flow to a thick sludge. This sluggish circulation has a technical name, venous stasis, and unfortunately, it's the perfect breeding ground for dangerous and potentially fatal blood clots known as deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. Make no mistake, this is a critical circulatory health problem, not a simple cosmetic detail you should ignore. You've surely tried all the standard advice the system gives you. You've elevated your legs, soaked your feet with salts, or cut salt from your diet until your food tastes like cardboard. And yet, the swelling persists. Why? Because you're only attacking the visible symptom. You are ignoring the fundamental nighttime protocol that doesn't just manage the fluid, but actively and forcibly reverses the process while you sleep. I am Dr. Elena Ross, an expert in senior health with over 2 decades in the clinical trenches. And today, I am going to reveal what most doctors don't tell you in their 10-minute consultations. I am going to give you the definitive 7-step protocol for vascular repair before bed. We are going to systematically detoxify, strengthen, and manually pump that fluid out of your legs before your head hits the pillow. Tomorrow, when you wake up, your feet will be flat, flexible, and comfortable enough to easily slide into your favorite shoes. This protocol attacks the root chronic venous insufficiency. And please pay special attention to the final step, because it is the best-kept clinical secret by specialists for strengthening vein walls from the inside out. We are going to start with the groundwork. The traditional medical system has an almost unhealthy obsession with sodium. They tell you, cut the salt, and your problems will disappear. As a doctor who sees real patients, not just statistics, I will tell you that this is, at best, a half-truth. Severe swelling is often not a problem of too much salt, but of a catastrophic imbalance between sodium and its counterparts, magnesium and potassium. Your kidneys are the conductors of the fluid balance orchestra. To function, they require an exact ratio of these minerals. When you are deficient in potassium or magnesium, your cells enter a state of osmotic panic. They desperately cling to sodium and, consequently, to water. This creates an unbearable hydrostatic pressure that pushes fluid out of the blood vessels into the tissues. Therefore, 60 minutes before your bedtime, we are going to execute what I call the pre-sleep cellular flush. This step requires 2 specific ingredients that act as chemical keys to open your cells. First, magnesium citrate. Unlike other forms of magnesium, citrate is a potent relaxer for the smooth muscle lining your veins. If your veins are stiff and inflamed, fluid cannot flow. Magnesium softens them, allowing the drainage system to open. I recommend 1 full teaspoon, approximately 300 to 400 milligrams, dissolved in a glass of warm water. But here is a secret weapon your doctor probably never mentioned, a potassium bitartrate, commonly known as cream of tartar. Potassium is the primary regulator of fluid inside your cells, while sodium operates outside. By boosting potassium right before sleep, you send a massive chemical signal to your cells to release the trapped sodium and water. Add a generous pinch, about a quarter of a teaspoon, to your magnesium drink. Drink it slowly 60 minutes before you intend to sleep. This timing is critical. We need your kidneys to receive this boost while you are still upright so that filtration begins before gravity stops, working in your favor. We are preparing the internal groundwork for the mechanical expulsion that will come next. Do not ignore this. Without the proper mineral balance, any other physical effort we make will be like trying to bail out a boat with a bucket while the hull is still full of holes. Once we have adjusted the internal chemistry, it is time to move on to controlled physical aggression. If your legs are swollen, your veins have become lazy. They have become so distended that they have lost their muscle tone, their ability to contract and push blood upward against the relentless force of gravity. We have to force them to react. We are going to use a powerful physiological phenomenon called the hunting response. This is a rapid cycle of vasoconstriction and vasodilation caused by extreme thermal shock. For this, a lukewarm bath will not work. We need the contrast bath method adapted for pre-sleep use. You will need 2 basins, one filled with water as hot as you can comfortably tolerate without burning yourself, and the second filled with the coldest tap water you can get, to which you will add 5 or 6 trays of ice cubes. I want the water to be painfully cold. The protocol is as follows. Immerse both feet in the hot water for exactly 3 minutes. This causes massive vasodilation. Your veins open up, bringing stagnant blood and interstitial fluid closer to the surface. Immediately, without hesitation, switch your feet to the ice water bath for a full 60 seconds. This is the hard part, so breathe deeply. The intense cold triggers violent vasoconstriction. The veins instantly clamp down, forcibly squeezing the blood and trapped fluid out of the periphery and sending it back to the central circulatory system. Repeat this cycle 3 times. Are 3 minutes hot, 1 minute cold, and always finish with the last minute in the ice water. When you take your feet out, you will notice something incredible. As the skin begins to warm up on its own again, a massive, reflexive opening of the veins occurs, a flush that creates a powerful suction effect. This effect draws fresh, oxygenated blood into your feet while dragging away metabolic waste and the fluid that caused the swelling. It is literally a gym for your blood vessels. We are training your veins to regain their elasticity and pumping capacity. We have altered the chemistry and awakened the veins with thermal shock, but the fluid we have moved is still in your lower legs. Now, we must physically transport it to your torso. Many patients tell me, "Dr. Ross, I sleep with my legs on 2 pillows," and I tell them that is passive, inefficient, and frankly, insufficient. If you want real results, you need to activate your second heart. That's what surgeons call the calf muscles. These muscles wrap the deep veins. When they contract, they act as a hydraulic pump that drives blood toward the heart. For this step, we are going to perform an active variant of the Viparita Karani posture. Lie on the floor or on your bed, close to a wall. Scoot your hips as close to the base of the wall as possible and lift your legs straight up, resting your heels against it so your body forms an L shape. In this position, your feet are above your heart, allowing gravity to finally work in your favor. But here is the key that makes the difference. Do not stay still. Every 60 seconds, you must perform an active ankle flex cycle. Point your toes strongly toward the ceiling for a count of 5. Feel the front of your leg stretching. Then, strongly flex your feet, pulling your toes back toward your face. For a count of 5. This rhythmic muscle contraction is what actively squeezes the venous reservoir in your calves. Repeat this point and flex cycle 10 times per minute for a total of 5 minutes. This is active gravitational drainage. 5 minutes of this exercise is equivalent to an hour of passive elevation on pillows. We are forcing the pressure gradient so that the fluid moves from the ankle reservoirs into its larger veins of your thigh and pelvis, where your circulatory system can effectively process it. Do not skip these 5 minutes. They are the engine of your nightly recovery. Now that we have mechanically drained much of the fluid, we must ask ourselves, why did it leak out in the first place? The answer lies in the integrity of your capillaries due to chronic inflammation and free radical damage. The walls of your smallest blood vessels have become porous, like an old hose full of holes. To seal these holes from the outside, we are going to use a powerful blend of concentrated venotonic essential oils. Forget commercial moisturizers loaded with chemicals. We need concentrated botanical compounds that penetrate the tissue. We will use 2 specific oils. 1. Cypress essential oil. It is highly valued in the natural pharmacopoeia for its venotonic properties. It helps reduce blood vessel permeability and strengthens capillary walls. It is essentially a structural sealant. You will need 5 drops. 2. Rosemary essential oil. It is a fierce circulatory stimulant. It ensures that local blood flow remains active, preventing any residual fluid from immediately pooling. Again, you will need another 5 drops. Mix these 10 total drops with 1 tablespoon of a carrier oil, such as fractionated coconut or sweet almond oil. The application is fundamental. Sit comfortably and apply the mixture from your toes upward. Use firm upward strokes, always toward the heart. You are performing a manual venous assistance massage. Pay special attention to the base of the ankles and the calf muscles, stopping just below the back of the knee, the popliteal fossa. This massage not only introduces the active ingredients, but also stimulates local nerves to maintain the vascular tone we achieved with the thermal shock. Now, we come to one of the points where conventional medicine often fails miserably, and it is my duty to warn you. If you have been prescribed high-pressure compression stockings of 20 to 30 millimeters of mercury for daytime use, that is correct for counteracting gravity while walking. However, you must never sleep in high-grade compression. Many patients believe that more is better and go to bed with these rigid stockings. This is a serious clinical error. When you lie down, your blood pressure equalizes throughout the body. Those heavy stockings can dangerously restrict arterial flow, creating a tourniquet effect that can lead to ulcers or even necrosis in extreme cases. What you need for the night is a therapeutic maintenance level of compression. The secret is in light compression socks, generally rated at 8 to 15 millimeters of mercury. This is the perfect pressure level to maintain the edema reduction we have achieved with the previous steps without strangling your circulation. These socks act as a constant, gentle squeeze for your tissues, preventing the interstitial space from expanding and reabsorbing fluid that your kidneys are still processing while you sleep. Make sure the top elastic band is not too narrow. If you see a deep indentation in your skin when you take them off, they are too tight for nighttime use and are acting as a ligature. The compression must be graduated, stronger at the ankle, and gentler upward. Put them on immediately after your oil rub to lock in the benefits obtained. The next step requires discipline, but it is what separates those who heal from those who just try. You have to understand that the water you drink does not instantly disappear. It goes through a complex filtration process in your kidneys that takes time, especially in an older adult's body, where the glomerular filtration rate may be diminished. Your body is much less efficient at moving large volumes of fluid when you are in a horizontal position. If you gulp down a large glass of water, an herbal tea, or even have a soup right before bed, you are guaranteeing that excess fluid will simply settle by gravity in your lower extremities. Therefore, I implement a strict 3-hour fluid fast with my patients before lights out. If your bedtime is 11 p.m., your last substantial sip of any liquid should be no later than 8 p.m. This includes water, infusions, or soft drinks. The only exception is the small sip needed for the final step. By implementing this cutoff, you give your kidneys a 180-minute window to perform their final fluid regulation pass while you are still mostly sitting or standing. This ensures the circulating fluid load is minimal when you enter the horizontal state, greatly facilitating your veins' work to keep your legs free of swelling. It is a simple rule, but one that most people ignore, sabotaging all their other efforts. We have reached the heart of the protocol, the step that can truly change the course of your vascular health long term. So far, we have dealt with drainage and physical management, but the origin of your problem is chronic venous insufficiency. CVI, your internal plumbing is broken. There is a pharmaceutical-grade botanical combination that specialists use to repair this plumbing from the inside, something rarely mentioned on television or in quick medical guides. It is the combination of coarse chestnut and pycnogenol. Horse chestnut seed extract, HCSE, is the gold standard in European vascular medicine. It contains an active compound called essin. Essin has the unique ability to seal capillary walls, drastically reducing their porosity. Basically, it closes the holes where the fluid leaks out. It also improves vein tone by promoting the release of healthy prostaglandins. You need a standardized product that provides 50 milligrams of pure essin. Pycnogenol, extracted from French maritime pine bark, is the perfect ally. It is one of the most potent antioxidants known to man and has a specific affinity for the collagen and elastin matrix that forms the structure of your blood vessels. Pycnogenol strengthens this structural matrix, making your veins more resistant to pressure. Why take them right before sleep? Because while you sleep, your body enters an anabolic repair state. By flooding your system with this powerful venotonic combination right before deep sleep, you are giving your blood vessels the raw materials they need to rebuild when the body is most receptive to healing. This is not a temporary solution. It is a long-term rebuilding strategy so that eventually you will not need to rely on external measures to keep your legs slim and healthy. You now have the complete map, the 7-step protocol, the mineral flush, the thermal shock, the active pump, the cypress tonic, light compression, the fluid fast, and the horse chestnut pycnogenol repair. It is a complete system, proven in clinical reality, not just in theory. But before I say goodbye, I must warn you about one silent habit that can destroy all this work in a matter of minutes. It is something you are probably doing right now as you listen to me. Crossing your legs. When you cross one leg over the other, you are creating a direct physical clamp, a kink in the hose on the major femoral artery and vein, which are responsible for returning all that blood and fluid upward. This mechanical blockage instantly stops venous return, forcing the fluid to stagnate and leak into the ankle tissues. Starting tonight, Make a conscious pact with yourself. Keep your feet flat or your legs parallel. If you are a side sleeper, place a thick body pillow between your knees. This keeps your knees, ankles, and hips aligned, ensuring the femoral vessels remain open and clear throughout the night. You have done the work of cleaning the pipes. Don't close the tap at the end. You now hold the vascular revival protocol in your hands. It is not magic. It is applied vascular science with compassion. Swelling does not have to be your sentence. Take action tonight. Don't wait for the skin to stretch more. Don't wait for the pain to become unbearable. Your body is sending you a signal, and now you finally know how to respond. If this information has given you a new perspective on your health, don't keep it to yourself. If you have a friend, a sibling, or a life partner who is going through this same ordeal of heavy, painful legs, share this video with them. Often, the difference between chronic suffering and recovery is simply having access to the clinical truth that the traditional system prefers to ignore. One final reflection. What I have given you today is not a simple list of tips. It is medical information based on the most recent cardiovascular research and what I see day after day in my clinical practice. However, this must never substitute for personalized care from your own doctor, especially before making any changes to your medication. I tell you this not as a simple legal disclaimer, but as genuine advice from someone who truly wishes to see you walk without pain. My commitment to you is firm. I will continue to share revelations and practical tools here that can radically transform your health and that of your loved ones. Subscribe so you don't miss a single discovery that restores the vitality you deserve.